I live in the same place my granddad built in 1923, so my house I live in is 100 years old this year. So I was born in Castle Rock back when the town was like 1,500 people and there were like 20,000 people in the county, and I was related to 70% of them. My dad ended up being a cabinet maker. That's where I learned a lot of stuff, because at nighttime I'd go out when he's in the shop and would work out there sometimes till 10 o'clock at night. I was able to learn a lot about construction. When I was 15, I started working at a gas station pumping gas, and I learned how to do mechanic work. I liked working so much that I got to where even when I was in high school, I was work 54 hours a week while I was going to school, and in the summertime I worked 114.
I was born and raised here. I grew up in Sedalia, went to school here in Castle Rock, met Tim, high school graduation party, and kind of hit it off and ended up getting married. And Tim had always wanted to have his own company, so we decided to build a house. So we bought house plans and bought a lot here in Castle Rock and built a house. He kind of pretty much oversaw that, as well as doing concrete work on the side. That's kind of where Lowell Construction got its beginnings.
Officially, it was founded in 1973. There seems to be a little internal debate between my parents as to what that year actually was, but according to all the records, it was 1973.
I had a cousin that was a building inspector up in Sinclair, Wyoming. And so I went up and met with the guy and made an agreement to build houses for him. So we was up there in the first 2 years I was there. I built 49 houses. And so we bid on the sewer line, putting the sewer and water line there. They asked me, he says, "Can you bond the job?" I said, "No, but I can give you my word." And they took my word over the bond.
We were able to build a large shop in Rollins and a big yard area. We then kind of moved into some commercial development. I was just doing the bookwork mostly and batching the concrete and driving the concrete truck. The energy crisis hit. Within a month, we lost every contract we had, and so we had all kinds of new big earth-moving equipment, and nothing was happening in Wyoming at all.
We moved back down to Denver, started hustling concrete down here, and got into doing utility work and stuff. Finally decided, I started training people to do all the trades. I decided I wanted to keep my equipment busy, so we just started doing the excavating work and got in mostly into water sewer stuff.
It didn't probably really start growing until Tim too finished school and came to work for us full time.
Got involved in construction really as a family business. You know, my memories of the company are really Dad working in the field, Mom doing the paperwork in the office, the two of them coming together at the dinner table. I officially started working when I finished college in 1995.
In 1 year, he doubled the revenue in the company. I started building bigger jobs, bidding bigger jobs, and whether we were ready or not to take them on, and we did it.
It wasn't too long after he came on that we were able to have an actual in-house accountant. It was only a year or two after that Levi then came on board, and then things have just kind of taken off since then.
I got into construction accidentally. I was born into a family that does construction, but that wasn't the path that I thought that I was going to be going on. Went to college, got out of college, went to work for a Fortune 300 company. It wasn't going to lead where I wanted to go to. I wanted to be at a place where I could really see my impact. And so at that point, I reached out to my dad and my brother, and my brother actually interviewed me, which was a little bit of a surprise. A lot of my experience early on was just, okay, we don't have anybody that's doing this, so you do that. I was involved in human resources, I was involved in accounting, I was involved in legal, I was involved in business development and project management and estimating. So I had an opportunity to get a really well-rounded perspective on our industry and our business.
When Levi came on, he added a whole different dimension, a little different perspective.
The Alameda Water and Sewer Project, 1996, was a milestone project because it was that next step into contract value and growing the company. It was generally a water and sewer replacement project for Green Mountain Water and Sanitation District. At that time, I think for the company, it was good in demonstrating that we could take on a little bit larger scale project. We could do multiple tasks in different areas.
I had several people that we hired on that job that stayed for a long time, which really helped our company grow.
Our first Denver water contract, this particular project, on paper, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle, but for what it actually did for us as a company moving forward, maybe the most important project we've ever done. Over the past 20 years, we've now done over 60 projects for Denver Water, and they've represented over a quarter of our revenue during that time. The other thing that came out of that was steel pipe experience, which allowed us to leverage into a lot of other steel pipe projects since then.
So I was in Hawaii getting married when we landed the contract for the Gilbert Street Roadway Improvements Project. It was the biggest contract that we'd gotten at that time, and I remember feeling really nervous because this is a big job and you want it to go well and you're not really sure.
We had water, sewer, and storm lines, all replacement. We fingered off up into the neighborhoods there a little bit, all the underground utilities, and then full rebuild of the roadway.
It was a great project for us. It was a project for the town of Castle Rock. Castle Rock's, a really important part of our family and our company. To be able to contribute to the community in that way, it just felt special. The North Area Force Mains for City and County of Broomfield was really a step up for us. It was about $5 million larger than the previous largest project we'd ever had. It was a force main project that went all through the east side of the city. We were able to utilize multiple crews to build the project. They were a great client, fun to work with, and so it was a successful project.
The Senate Creek project is a 5+ mile installation for the city of Aurora.
We're in pre-construction phase right now, and it's a really exciting project for us. We're currently in the process of building an $18 million project, which is our largest one. But now we're going to go and do this $41 million project. We're going to be able to carry forward the structural management lessons of how to build a larger project. We actually feel really confident that we're going to have a really successful project.
We just always did tough jobs, whether it's deep and dirty and water and rock or whatever the problem was.
It's always a challenge on these projects and this stuff that we do, but I think that's a good part of that I like those kind of challenges.
It feels kind of elite to be working with guys that aren't afraid to bite a chunk off and get it done,
We're not out to get people. We're out to do a good job, a good product for a good price.
The value is doing things right. It's more important to do it right and to maintain those relationships and be a company of integrity than it is to make that extra $55,000. That's the same way when we keep guys working. When there isn't work and they come down to the yard or they paint Tim's house or they build the fence. They do all these things so that they can provide for their families.
A big part of it is just the availability of the ownership, the leadership to everybody. If you're having an issue, they're not afraid to help you through it, walk you through it in your personal life even.
To me, it's an honor to be working for this company. Here about 2-3 years ago, I ended up with a back surgery and I was off of work for like 3 months. These guys, they never let me down. And it's something that it's realistic, for good. I appreciate everything they done for me. It's a good place to work, I can tell you that. It's great myself to be part of the company that is getting awards every year, because I think it's been happening that everything comes from up above, trying to guide us and give us the sources to build the job.
I'm excited that they're finally going to get a real office building.
Our current old office, we moved in 1984. Maybe the single greatest investment in the company's history. We spent $1,000 on it. So the return on investment's been pretty great. We've outgrown that space and it's time to move into something a little bit more in step with where the company's at now. Fits us culturally and where we want to go to.
The next 50 years are exciting. The core of our team is young enough and passionate enough to continue this legacy.
Our general culture and level of enthusiasm, I'm super optimistic about what's ahead for T-Lowell.
It's fun to think about the future because it's kind of limitless. We're only constrained by how big we can dream and how bold we can act. The younger people, they're starting to impact the company. When I think about, the future of T-Lowell construction, I hope it's not just our family business, but it becomes this thing. It's undeniable, and people, just recognize it as this sort of institution, and we can all look back on and say, do you remember when we were in that trailer? That was a long time ago, but that was pretty cool.